Okay,
Yeah.
I think we need to ask the chat. Like, hi chat. We have a
We're
we just had
to.
a very serious conversation.
Absolutely.
I love how I'm coming
Terribly
out swinging
serious.
with a question for the chat already.
Mhm.
Who remembers Happy Days? Do you
Specifically,
remember Happy Days?
Can you sing the theme song? And you and chat can sing the theme song because that's fine. If we sing the theme song, I'm sure Twitch will be upset.
I'll just go Sunday, Monday.
There you go. That's enough. I love that we're just starting these shows now just with like, this is what we were chatting about.
This is what we're chatting about, by the way.
Oh, yep. Everybody in chat now. Monday,
Yes!
Tuesday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. You know what? Thursday, Friday. It's a happy day because
this has
of
made
this
this
show.
a happy day.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So hi everyone. It's Friday. It's time for Paint and Slay. I'm V. That's Lauren. And we're chatting about minis and painting.
Happy Githyanki.
Happy Githyanki. Happy Githyanki Day. So we'll be talking about painting these minis up, getting them completed. Remember, we've been doing these because of our lovely champion Lae'zel, who's available in the game now to unlock. Make sure you act on that soon. You have this weekend to get that done. But before we get into talking about painting these, what do I want to call them? Fighters? Warriors? All of the above?
I think.
Warriors. Githyanki warriors, because they have such a fierce look to them. So when we finish up painting this, I love that. I just saw the Yankees reference. So Moses Karada, you should paint them with the Star Spangled Banner to make them Yankees. That's another episode.
Those are different minis, but that is
right.
I'm here for this wordplay. I'm here for it.
Yes, I'm here too. All right, so before we get into the mini painting, and again, these are minis from WizKids D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line. Lauren, what do we have going on with the game?
So many cool things going on with the game. So let's start with the thing that just got announced literally 2 hours ago, which is season 5 is coming on Wednesday. Unlike previous seasons, this season is happening right after the end of season 4. Coming super fast. And it is the Acquisitions Incorporated season. Jim, Omen, Strix, the Vi, and Evelyn. There we go.
Yep.
Off the top of my head, I got it. So if you head on over to our YouTube or our TikTok, there's a little short that has some information for you. It's mostly to let you know about the season, that it starts on Wednesday at noon Pacific, and that's August 30th. And a reminder that that does mean season 4 is ending soon. So you still got a couple of days to get those final little bits of season 4 stuff done. If there's any last minute things that you want to get in the in-game shop for season 4, you still have the weekend and some time. But then, as soon as season 4 is done, we're rolling right into season 5. I'll also say it might be worth it to keep an eye on socials for the folks who play these characters, who play these champions. They may have some interesting things to show over the weekend.
I can vouch for that. Yeah. Definitely pay attention to the content creators of the various champions for reasons,
And next week is PAX West, when they will be doing a live show at PAX West that I'm really excited to see. And so it's all coming up Acquisitions Incorporated next week.
Everything's coming up Omen.
Omen would be so happy. Oh, that would make him so happy. So happy even with this face. I mean, look at this serious face. So
actually, it's a good point mentioning PAX West, because PAX West is happening next weekend. We're taking off next week because not only will Lauren be at PAX West, I'm also going to be at PAX West, which means doing the stream's going to be not possible.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but we will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll have lots of fun stories from PAX, not just from PAX West, but like hanging out with cool people that I only get to see a couple times a year if I'm lucky. So yay! I'm excited.
Okay, so we have season 5 just announced.
Yes.
We also have
Oh, yes.
Don't forget.
So Lae'zel is still available to unlock in the game because Agaron's Day is still going on, but this is your final weekend. You'll have until Monday to unlock her using the Agaron's adventures. And yeah, go get her in your game and then just keep spamming her ultimate because it's so much fun to watch her just leap out into the middle of the field and whack the ground with a psionic strike and watch everybody go, whoa. It's just fun. And then, if you like the alternate universe version of Lae'zel where she gives in to becoming a mind flayer, there's
That'll
skins
cycle
coming up.
through.
It's coming up.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Trust me,
It's
it's
coming
there.
in there.
It's
And
there.
and then you get the cute little mind flayer or the intellect devourer.
Intellect Devour us. I love it.
Us is definitely ugly cute.
Very,
It's
very
very ugly cute.
Yes.
Yeah, but love it so much. Also, thank you, Bellswin, for all the gift subs. If you got a gift sub in chat, definitely tell Bellswin thank you and enjoy your emotes. So yeah, that's Lae'zel. And then the Mind Flayer Emergence is still going on. That started a couple days ago, and that's going on until next week. So you can have Lae'zel destroying all sorts of Mind Flayers and getting yourself corrupted gems and earning all sorts of cool gear and skins. And there's some really good feats that are available this time. So definitely don't sleep on those feats. And finally, to help you out with all of the stuff going on this weekend, we've got the weekend buffs. It is the Slay the Darkness weekend. And I mean, check out this chest. Check out this. Yeah.
It's so appropriate.
It is super appropriate. It is very evocative of the far realm. Yeah, absolutely. And so you should be getting, if you signed up for the newsletter, you should be getting that newsletter in your email shortly. That includes the information about the Slay the Darkness weekend and a code for a free Gold Slayers reward chest. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, highly recommend it. We send out the one every week, and it always includes a gold chest code so that you always get a little something. And if we send out a second one during the week, it is very rare, and it is usually very important.
Very needed. Yeah.
But yeah, Artemis, Kedibri, Dritz, Lae'zel, and Human are all getting buffs this weekend to help you with all of your Lae'zel needs. I think that's everything. We've got Gabe in chat, who is our moderator today, who will be grabbing questions. So if you do have any questions about anything that we just talked about, or anything about Idle Champions, or about mini painting, or about PAX West, go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters before your question, because every once in a while I'm going to be looking at painting eyes, and I'm not going to be able to watch chat. I just realized I had a rattle in there. Oh, whoopsie, sorry. But put it in chat with question in big capital letters. Gabe will grab it, and that way I won't miss your awesome questions. And now I'm going to open this up because I did something smart. I put the bases for the two Githyanki in the pill bottle.
Gotcha.
But then forgot they were there. I'm like, what is this rattling noise?
That does make sense.
There we go. Now they're out. And now I am done.
So I just saw that Bellswin had a question. Using super glue cotton swab to create the fire, much like we did for Akira's fireball, all of a sudden it got super hot and exothermic reaction. Did I do something wrong?
Oh.
Did the Q-tips have anything in there? I'm wondering. Sometimes the Q-tips, they might come with like additives. Some of them are antibacterial, which means they have a product in them, like an oil or something like that. I'm wondering if it might have been that.
Also, hope you're okay.
Yes, I'm glad you're okay. That usually exothermic means there's a little bit of a bonus thing. It's not just straight up cotton swab. So yeah. Okay, hopefully everything's okay. Next time you do it little by little so you can better control, just in case that happens again. Great, you're fine. Happy to hear.
They're fine.
All right,
excellent.
So we're going to jump back into these lovely warriors. We finished off getting the base color of the pants onto these. Now we're going to go in and we're going to do some dry brushing because we're doing the inside out approach, which means we're starting in the innermost portion of the mini, which was the skin for us. And we're working our way out, because what this does is this means when you have a mini with all of the details that are going on like this, you can slowly add your details of the base color, the highlighting, and work your way out. And that way, if you get anything on the outer portions, it's okay because you're going to be painting that part last, which is why we're doing that one. And just also, I'm playing with Mother Nature right now because my one key light died. So if it's a little bit darker on this side than usual, that's why. It literally just went kablooey before we got started.
But
So I'm gonna
you're
do my
okay.
best. I'm okay. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like an electric thing. It was just like, you know, when a light bulb is dying and it does that flicker thing. That's
Mm.
what the key light's doing, and like, there's no light bulb to change with these things. It's an old key
It
light. It
is or
has
it isn't.
sung its swan song pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be moving my other light over as best I can to kind of highlight these as we go along. But yeah, that's why it's a little bit dimmer today.
It
Also,
still
it's
looks
raining.
good.
Good.
Yeah, I've got the rain going on here too,
Yeah, we
but
might get
yay rain.
thunderstorms here. So if you hear booms, let me know. I can open the window if you want to hear a thunderstorm.
And then we'll all just take a nice
And then we'll
thunderstorm
have like
nap.
an
We'll all just curl up.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put on some gentle light music in the
There we go.
background. We'll all curl up and it'll be
Yes.
nap time. Meanwhile,
Yep. So
glorious
is no,
gold.
not glorious gold. I grabbed the wrong one because I went for leather brown and I grabbed the gold. I mean,
All right.
honestly, this is why I did a quick glance.
It's close.
So we're using the paints from the D&D Prismatic paints. These are from WizKids. They are Vallejo paints for anyone curious. So you'll see some overlap. Leather brown is in so many WizKids, or not WizKids, Vallejo paint kits. So it's not surprising that it was in the WizKids kit. And this is just a nice warm tan. So we're going to take this nice warm tan color and we're going to dry brush those pants to bring out all the fantastic texture that is living in these pantalones, as you can see. So we'll go through it and we'll take that leather brown and do that. And then once that's done, we'll move over to starting with the armor.
Awesome.
Yes. And in this case, I'm not thinning the paint because we're going to be dry brushing. When you thin the paint to dry brush, you actually make dry brushing harder on you. So, speaking of dry brush,
saw a bunch of questions coming on in.
Ooh.
I'm gonna kind of do this backwards for reasons. Art Dismissive asks, how do we see the stuff from the emergence event in game? Are there daily goals? Yes. So when you boot up the game, go look at the top middle of the screen, and you're going to see, essentially, there's going to be two boxes of information. One of them is going to be talking about Agaron's Day and all the stuff. You can click on that and it'll talk about Lae'zel and the other two champions and the stuff that you can try to achieve during the event. The other one should say Mind Flayer Emergence, and if you click on that, it should bring you to it should pop up a thing about the Mind Flayer Emergence. There are daily goals that will get you more of the corrupted gems. And then there should be a link to the Thayan Enclave in the shop, or you can just go to the Idle Champion shop and go on over to the Thayan Enclave tab, I guess it would be, and use those to get all the fun stuff. And I think all the information should be there. If you're still missing something, let us know, and we can definitely answer any questions. But yeah, click on that Mind Flayer Emergence box at the top middle of your screen, and that should give you all the information you need. And I figured I'd do that question first because there's probably a fair number of people who this is their first emergence event. And so, yeah, knowing where to look is often...
helps.
Yeah, as there's enough going on in our game that sometimes it can be confusing to figure out where am I supposed to look for what information.
Yep. And that's why we're happy to answer those questions for you. All right, so that's the first set of pants with the dry brushing. As you can see, it just sort of features those folds a little bit more by getting the contrast of the deeper browns with the lighter browns on top. So I'm going to jump over to the next GUI and do the same.
Yeah, I'm just finishing up the pantalones on this one. And there we go.
See, I always think of Hemingway whenever I hear pantalones because we call him Fluffy Pantalones.
Aww.
He's got such fluffy back legs. They look like pantaloons. It's hysterical.
Yeah. And let me grab... Art Dismissive says, the Mind Flayer Emergence box wasn't there for me, so I'm restarting my game. Yes, sometimes, especially if you had the game running when the emergence went live, and if you're like a lot of people and you just keep the game running all the time, every once in a while you may need to basically turn it off and back on again. And the Mind Flayer Emergence is one of those that you may need to shut it down and restart in order to get that little box up there. But it'll still remember the stuff you did, because just like a lot of the rest of the game, it remembers your offline progress. So, and there are ways to catch up with getting corrupted gems if you say don't play for a day and log on in. There's a mechanism so that you can catch up with the corrupted gems that would drop, so that way you can stay on top of getting all the fun things in the Thayan Enclave.
Okay,
Why aren't you? There we go. I mean, the nice thing about these pantaloons is they're so textured. I mean, I'm just going to say it this way. They're so obvious where the wrinkles are. the lines that it's really nice. It's like a really sculpt. Easy dry brushing.
Yeah, it really is great. Looks like D2 Crafty One question. Everything has to be hand painted with a paintbrush, right? Have you ever done anything with... Okay, no. You can actually paint miniatures if you want to with an airbrush. Airbrushes are fun. I always say this when it comes up. As an artist, what feels best for you is a very personal thing. So I know many, many painters who prefer, like myself, going hand painted with a brush routine, which is fine. That's totally cool. It works. Then there are other artists who really enjoy their airbrushes. In fact, they will paint their minis almost entirely with their airbrush. Angel Heraldez, I want to say. I'm forgetting his last name. Has a fantastic YouTube channel. Does all of these mini painting tutorials with an airbrush, and it's stunning work. I always direct people towards him because of how good his tutorials are and how great the work is with an airbrush. And then there are people who do the in-between. They like their airbrushes for some things and their hand painting for other things. That also works. So it's not a this or that approach. It is do what works best for you. Reason why we don't do airbrushes here is because you need to have a studio set up that has ventilation, that has sort of this encased area because the paint goes everywhere. And spoiler alert, Lauren and I are both working from the desks from which we work on a daily basis. So airbrushes and our setups don't really go hand in hand. But I do encourage you to check out other mini artists who use airbrushes, because there are some really cool techniques you can do with an airbrush as well. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. And I actually have used an airbrush just for funsies. Luke got my partner got an airbrush in last year. And we brought it over to a friend's house to basically set up in their garage because, like you said, airflow. And we played around with it a bunch. And I found for doing a base layer, it was of a specific color. It was real helpful. Like we painted, we had a blue dragon. I was like, okay, we're going to do a base layer of blue and then we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. The base layer with the airbrush was actually really fun and very quick. Awesome. But yeah, I certainly do not have enough facility with an airbrush to be able to do fine details. So, and that's just it. It's like I have a basement, but it's finished. So I would definitely have to try and get it set up in my garage. And there's so many things involved with making sure you have the right setup. I did have a setting in my old house where I could use my airbrush, and that's where I'd like line up a whole bunch of minis and like either prime them or base coat them or something like that, and then would go to work doing the more hand detailed work. Or I'd like spray them all black and then do zenithal lighting and just take the white paint and spray it from a certain angle from above so they would all get that casting. Oh, that's cool. It is fun. It's good for stuff like that. But again, I don't have the right setup anymore. Other roles. Moving on. We're going to start working on the armor for these. Now, if you take a look at Lae'zel, you can see that she has a mostly silver look to her armor. I'm going to have some fun because I'm working with a different reference photo as well, and they have gold edging happening on the armor. So I thought that would be something fun to do. So what that means is we're going to want to go in with gold, Lauren, and with a detailed brush, just kind of edge around the armor. If it gets more into the central point of the armor, that's okay. It's like when you go to a coloring book and they tell you to edge in around the lines first. That's kind of what we're doing, but with the gold. Okay. That makes sense. All right, so let me grab my glorious gold, and I will go back to Caliph Marin's question. Both of you are going to PAX West next week. I hope you have tons of fun. Thank you. Are either of you going to PAX Unplugged? I will be.
Both of us. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, that is my must go to convention for me every single year.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Me too.
And I am also going to one other convention. I just made arrangements. I'm going to Big Bad Con at the end of September. It's the last weekend of September, beginning of October. So I'm very
Yep.
excited
And I'm
because that
doing
is
Game Hole just to go
oh
to.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you say armor, real quick, are you also talking about the leg armor?
I'm talking about basically anything that's metal. So what are those called? Uh,
Greaves?
Greaves, I think. So the greaves, the brace, well, not the bracers. The pauldron, the upper thigh armor.
Mm,
Basically, anything that looks like it would be metal. The bits that go around, those are leather straps. We're going to take care of those in a little bit.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm. I also know submissions for panels for PAX West just opened up.
Yes.
Or for PAX Unplugged. Oh, geez. So I know there's a lot of folks who are starting to work on that. If you
Mm-hmm.
do come to PAX West, I'm on a panel on Friday with a whole bunch of awesome people, and it's literally called Wrong Answers Only. And it's a panel that has happened a couple of times now in a couple of different places with a variety of folks. And I am very happy and honored to be part of it this year. And it is just a ridiculously fun panel of TTR, all the wrong advice for TTRPGs. So
Amazing.
uh, do not come to the panel expecting real advice, but come to the panel at least expecting fun, and then also maybe good advice by knowing what the bad advice is.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, hey, don't do this. The
Exactly.
thing that I'm going to tell you to do right now, don't do that. But I'm very excited about basically having an hour of just being ridiculous on a panel with some good people.
Yeah, I think everyone needs that though in life. Just a little bit of time to be silly.
Yeah, and it's also a really good opportunity to do the hey, here's some advice for GMs, storytellers, people who are running games or playing in games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good way, kind of a roundabout way, but still a good way of giving good advice, just in a completely
Right.
different context, and
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So that's Friday night at 6 p.m. I just looked at
I
this
want
and
to
I've
say six
forgotten it
to
already.
seven, correct?
Think so. I think so. Yeah. I don't know if it's being streamed or recorded yet. Um,
Right.
I'll see if I can get that information to put it out there, but yeah, that's the one panel I'm going to be on, and then I'm going to be just around, especially the Friday and Saturday. I'll be around half a day on Sunday because in the evening I have D4, and so I'm going to go
Easy.
stream that. And then I will not be at the convention on Monday for reasons that will be announced next week, but that are good, fun reasons.
Neither will I, because I'm flying back.
That is also a good, fun reason. Like, that is
Oh,
totally,
that's fun,
totally.
but you know, it's also the first week of school when I get back, so it's kind of like, well, I need to be back before a certain day.
Yeah, that is totally understandable.
Yep, yep.
Nope, I'm going to be busy doing something for something that will get announced
Something for a
shortly.
something for a something, and that's all you
Yeah,
need to know about
for
something.
good
Tell
reasons.
me
So
something good.
yeah, so I'll miss a couple panels on Monday and Sunday night, but
Yeah,
I'm very lucky that PAX West is in my backyard, and so I have the opportunity to basically do that, to be like, I'm going to go to the convention for half a day and then go home and stream
that's
D4
awesome.
on Sunday.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can do that way.
Yeah, and because as much as like PAX West is a 4-day convention, which is a lot.
It is.
And as much as going to conventions are fun and I try to go and get as much out of it as possible, uh, uh, D4 is getting towards the end of the campaign and things are getting super serious.
Juicy.
Yeah. And so it's one of those of like, where is it more important that I am and where do I feel like I need to be? And I get 2 full days at PAX West the days before, and I get the morning and the early afternoon. And then I'm going to come home, and then we're going to the Sea of Stars and hopefully not getting killed by aboleths. So we'll see. You know, just normal D&D things.
May Timora smile upon you.
Oh, please. Oof. Yeah, nothing like dealing with aboleths to...
Or as Patty would say, or Jiggle just ignore ya.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'd also, that's Orkira's playing in that game. And so there's also the well, hopefully the Phoenix will help, but the Phoenix is indisposed at the moment. So
oh dear.
Yeah, well, you know.
Your call is very important to us.
Your god is currently...
The deity you are trying to reach is unavailable.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know.
Stay on the line.
And this one deity will be happy to...
celestial will be available to help you.
There you go. Yeah, I got to have an interesting conversation with the DMs about like, I don't have commune anymore because my god is... Yeah. Well, you know, when you pray to a phoenix and they're known for doing this thing and where they, you know, they die and are reborn. Well, guess what? Sometimes they're dead.
Yeah, sometimes they literally are unavailable at the moment.
Yep. And so yeah, I very intentionally did not take a spell that I actually used quite a bit the last time I was a regular on D4 because, hey, you know, communism.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah. It is but it is also a fun spell. If you at home are playing a cleric or another kind of class that has a deity and have access to commune, it's a real good spell. Commune. Awesome. I just saw this question. Plum Bob, did Lauren make it to the IDRS conference in Thailand this year? Oboists are, as far as the eye could see, I'm told. For those that don't know, IDRS is the International Double Reed Society, because I am an oboist. It has been a hot minute since I've been able to go to an IDRS. In fact, the last one that I went to was well before the pandemic in Ithaca, New York. And that's only because that's my alma mater. And I was living in the New York area at the time, so I was able to go. As much as Thailand would have been a lot of fun, sadly, no, I did not get to go. IDRS, I've been to a couple and they are always... I mean, it is essentially the PAX West for oboists and bassoonists. Cool. It's double reed. So, like, for those that are like, wait, this is a convention of double reed people. What do you do? I mean, think of what you do think of what you do at Gen Con as a geek, a tabletop geek, and now just replace all of the tabletop with music. And there you go.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. But it sadly is an expensive trip. I'm sure. Yeah, so I can't always go. And Thailand is, you know, far away.
It kind of is a distance. It's a little bit of a hike. Yep.
Just a little bit. But I appreciate you even bringing it up in chat because you know what? I don't know if I've ever talked about the IDRS on stream. I've talked about the Musicians Union a little bit, but not... The IDRS is a very specific type of double reed thing. It is the very definition of a incredibly niche convention.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Nate S89, welcome. New player today. Where does the code go? Thanks for joining us. So if you're playing the game, and you go to the upper left corner, there's going to be one of the buttons that you can press is going to take you to, it's going to look like a little chest. And it's going to take you to the screen where any chests that you currently have are available. And at the bottom left-hand side of that screen, there's going to be a button that you press that says something to the extent of enter a code. And you press that. And oh, yep. Also, Belswin was nice enough to link the how to redeem a code. So if you want the visual explanation instead of just me giving you the drive-by directions. So yes, you press that button and it's going to open up a screen that looks like basically a combination lock. And that code right there that is down at the bottom, you put that in and hit enter, and you should get an Electrum chest. And if you're playing on your computer, you can use !code in chat, and it'll give you that information in chat, which is useful for copy pasting. So you can just copy the code and literally paste it into that screen and get yourself an Electrum chest. I hope that helps. And if it did not, then Belswin linking the how to redeem a chest code
that will help too, yeah.
Clip will absolutely help. And now back to this pauldron.
Right. I like how we have, like, we're both doing the same thing, but clearly you went upper, I went lower.
Oh, I started at the bottom and I moved
up. You did? Oh, you're moving quickly then.
I'm still only on the first one though.
Okay.
Wait,
which one did you do?
Just a sword overhead guy.
Same. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we're actually, we're pretty much on track with each other, but we did go in opposite directions. I think it was because I was asking about the feet, about those greaves, that I was like, I'll start there.
That makes sense.
All right. You got to get out of the way, sword. I need to get under you.
I have places to go, things to do.
No. I have things to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy to help. We may be here painting minis, but we're always happy to answer any questions we can about the game, and especially for new folks coming on into the game, because that is a very natural question to ask.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, and you said all the straps are going to be
leather.
Leather. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so don't worry about those straps. We're literally just edging around all of the armor bits with the gold. And it's slightly tedious, but I think the payoff's going to be a lot of fun when we get the other silvers going.
Oh, absolutely. Now we figured out that that's hair. That's not a hat like I thought it was.
Right,
but
there is
circlet?
A circlet. Yep, the circlet we're also going to paint gold. Okay. So if you want to go in and paint that circlet now, you are more than welcome to.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
And then what did I do for the sword? Also this portion of the sword we can paint gold. So the hilt and the handle.
Cool.
Can paint that gold too.
And now the fun of edging around the face. Trying not to get the face covered in gold.
Dun, dun, dun.
And behind that ear.
Don't forget to wash behind your ears. I mean, paint behind your ears.
I mean, is it awesome that this mini is detailed enough that you can get in behind the ear? Yes. Is that an easy place to get to? No.
No.
Nope.
Definitely not.
The Lost Towel says, I've always wanted to get into painting minis. I just don't feel like I have the patience. I could see why that would be. Yeah. I don't know. V, do you have any suggestions for people who are like, I know that this could be a taxing on my patience? Is there maybe some suggestions for things to do that might be easier for like a mini that's not going to be as difficult to paint? Or
pick a mini out of a creature that you really enjoy, because that becomes a nice drive for you to complete it. So don't just grab a mini. It's like, this one's here. But like, if you have a thing for owlbears, get yourself an owlbear mini. You're going to want to finish it. And also, it doesn't mean just because you start picking up painting minis that you have to paint a mini like Lauren and I do every single week. No, like wait for the minis that appeal to you, that you want to dive into and you want to put time into.
Yeah,
Um, just because you're not painting a mini all the time doesn't mean you can't paint minis. Does that make sense?
absolutely. I mean, before this show, my uh the number of times I painted a mini was fairly irregular, but I did do some mini painting.
Yeah.
Um Mostly of characters that I've created. I have a small collection of 4th and 5th edition or characters that I played in D&D games from both 4th and 5th edition. Some that were streamed and some that were not, and those I always enjoyed either getting myself a mini to paint up like that character or finding one in a
Mm-hmm.
couple of cases, um putting 2 minis together to make one happen. I think I've already told the story here about my
Right.
Dragonborn sorcerer that's the folks at PAX West were nice enough to help me bodge together. Um, I've ordered some of the Hero Forge minis, both the ones that have been that I paint and then that come colored. I've ordered
Mm-hmm.
from people who do 3D printed minis. Um, I have been lucky enough to have incredibly talented people make minis for me. Um, so yeah, but it was definitely a every now and then kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Do-do-do.
I think this one I got the edges of everything.
Yeah, I'm still working around the first
Hmm.
one.
Yeah, this is I'm I'm looking for spots I might have missed, and I just found one actually
That's fair.
under the sword, edging that pauldron under the sword.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, there we go. Uh, oh yes, and thank you, Rough Rider, for putting the code in there. If you are interested in either joining us and painting minis, or just enjoying painting on your own, especially if these suggestions sparked a, I've always wanted to paint a insert
Mm-hmm.
cool creature. Yeah, if you go to dndmini.com and use the code slay and save aug AUG, you get 10% off your order until the end of August. So you can get yourself 10% off a whole bunch of WizKids minis, or one really big WizKid mini,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
several really big WizKids minis.
Exactly. And that is a whatever you purchase. It's not specifically for the minis we share here on the stream. It is when you go to that website, 10% off that website. Just to make sure we're clear on that one, because I know sometimes people have questions about that.
Yeah, no, that is a good thing to point out because while it's
Get
mostly
away on the
minis at
circlets.
dndmini.com, there are some other fun things there too.
Yeah.
All right, dual sword
Do
Githyanki. Here we go.
do 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 do.
Let's do this. I think this is why I agreed with calling them warriors, because uh they could be fighters, they could be
Mm-hmm.
monks,
That's just
uh
it.
they could be several different classes.
They could even be, because I mean, druids use scimitars. They could be druids.
Absolutely.
They just get their scimitars out. They didn't want a wild shape.
Yeah. They could be bards, especially
Mm-hmm.
College of Swords, but any of
Absolutely.
the bards. Um,
Bardy, bardy, bardy.
they could be clerics, but most of the time, if you're going to be a melee cleric, you're going to wear a bit more armor, but
Yeah,
it's not necessary. They could be rogues.
this is true.
Uh, yep. So there are several options. I mean, heck, they
Absolutely.
could be blade singers, so they could even be wizards.
True. Very true.
My inclination, though, is that they are monks, if only because of the bare feet. I don't know if
That's,
that
yeah,
is
that's a fair point.
it, and it might be cliche. I might be making assumptions, but definitely monks do try to stay as unarmored as barbarians, and
Mm-hmm.
so these two scream monk to me.
A
But
monk, a monk, a monk.
a pair of monks. Uh, mm, 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 mm,
Phenomenal
mm,
cosmic
mm.
powers, itty bitty living space. Hmm.
So I've gotten to the point. I've got my ring light here that I use.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, I've just blown myself out doing that. But that I use so that I can very easily see what I'm doing, and it works well.
Mm-hmm.
And then every once in a while, when I have to uh, type something out, I put the paintbrush in my mouth and I do the typing. And then what ends up
And
happening is the front of this light is now covered with streaks of colored
oh,
paint
funny.
from every time I'm like, So I think this ring light is now 100% only for painting minis.
There you go. There is a necklace on this model around the well, obviously around the neck. There's a necklace around the neck, yo. Just so you know.
Oh yeah.
I'm just pointing that out because it's a little bit more evident. I don't think this one did.
No, I'm glad you did. I did not even know.
Did
In
this
fact, I
one?
painted it as skin, so good to
Now I'm looking at
know.
this one. Does this one, or is that a mold line? This one I think also has one, except it's getting covered by the strap. See,
Oh
there's a
yeah.
yeah. So I'm just put that there for the gold band.
Yeah. I'll go back to that in just a second because yep, I totally just
I
painted that
missed
like
it too.
skin.
I missed it too. No big deal.
These details.
Right? There's so much going on. What am I looking at?
I don't know. What are you looking at?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Mm,
This is why I wanted to edge around in gold first, because there's some spots that are just almost impossible to get a very fine line on without flipping over.
yeah.
So we can go back in with the gunmetal and kind of alter that as we keep going with the layers.
Yeah, especially around the legs. There there's a lot going on there, and definitely when I was painting the pantaloons, it was one of those it was hard for me to sometimes see the difference between the pantaloons and the armor. So
Fair, yeah.
definitely doing the edging here. Whether I have succeeded or not, at least means it's going to on the mini be obvious what I think is armor and what
Right.
I think is pantaloons.
Exactly. That will help.
Yep. Speaking of uh chat's being very nice and supportive of each other, but also I just saw it
Aw.
never rains but pours, and just then the sun came out, so maybe it is not going to rain here.
Ooh.
So we may be relying on you for our mid-afternoon thunderstorm and nap break.
Oh. You know, a nap break. See, they did a few things right in kindergarten, and having those naps, they were
Mhm.
on to something.
I think that's one of
Um,
the reasons why the French have such long lunches. Like the culturally, they take
mm,
very long lunches, like the big meal of the day.
right?
Uh, and it's like it's a significant amount of time. It's not like the 30 to 45 minutes that most people in the United States get. They take like 2 hours. And I
Right.
think even if you're not taking a nap during that time, just having a midday break
It
to
does.
recharge the brain is such a smart idea. Although I'm not the best napper, so I shouldn't.
I'm good with like the 10 to 15, 20-minute power nap type of thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like I know if I'm napping more than that long, I might be getting sick.
Mm,
because I'm the power napper type. I will grab a cat and I will literally take a cat nap.
that's awesome. That is
Yep.
that's an amazing skill to have.
It's the weird, like, it takes forever for me to fall asleep at night. Like,
Hmm.
this is the joke with my West Coast friends, because I'll be texting them into the wee hours of the East Coast time, like, why are you still up? I'm like, because I'm in bed. I'm technically in bed. Just not asleep yet.
Yeah.
But I've always been that way. Naps, however, like I said, just give me a cat and I can clock out really quick and I actually feel refreshed. It's like, oh, I got 10 minutes. I'm refreshed. I'm good. It's the
Whereas
weirdest thing.
I am in envy because I cannot do that. I Whether it is sleeping in bed or getting a nap, takes me forever to fall asleep. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, I just don't think I've figured out how to effectively nap because I know the idea is you take 20 to 40 minutes and it's supposed to give you that like one cycle of REM
Mm-hmm.
sleep and just enough. But if you go longer than that, you feel tired afterwards.
Yeah.
It actually is
Yeah.
less beneficial. I can't I can do the all right, I've been asleep for 20 minutes and now I'm going to wake up and I never feel refreshed. So I know I'm doing something wrong,
Interesting.
but I
Okay, so
haven't
how
figured it
long do
out.
you normally, like, what's a good night's sleep for you? Like, how long do you need to sleep for a good night's rest?
If I get 7 hours of
Okay.
like, I know I have fallen asleep and I haven't woken up a ton of times in the night,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm pretty good to go. That's a good win. If I can get 8, that's even better. And I can function on 5 or 6, but the
Right.
older I get, the less likely I am to function well on 5 or 6.
See,
Um,
I can function on 3 to 4. I'm good with 5 to 6.
mm,
It's very hard for me to sleep in past 6 hours.
it is incredibly easy for me too. If I don't turn my
I
alarm on, if I'm like, it's a weekend and I don't have to be up for nothing, and I turn my alarm off and I'm not careful, 10 hours will go by.
Oh no, no.
Yeah.
I like clockwork. I will be up around a certain time on the weekends around 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, oh yeah, I won't get out of bed right away. I mean, hello, embrace the lazy. So it's like
Yeah.
I'll be in bed, like, just kind of chilling out until about 8:30, but I naturally wake up between 6:30 to 7:30 depending on my day's schedule. No matter what I do.
That is I can envy that, but I could also see why that would be annoying in certain circumstances. So,
It's kind of like I want to sleep in and nope, haha.
yeah. Even though I know I can just all right, I'm just not getting up for 10 hours. I really try to avoid doing that because
Mhm.
it does mess up my normal sleep
Oh yeah,
schedule.
I'm sure.
So I try on weekends and where I don't have to get up early, I
Mhm.
try to still get up at a fairly reasonable hour simply because I know that if I let myself do that one day of sleep until 10, 10:30, 11,
Yeah.
then it takes me like 3 or 4 days to just get my sleep working
That
again.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. The Lost Owl says, I can only ever power nap on road trips personally. It's something about the car. That
That's
is,
fair.
yeah. My partner Luke, he talks about how he learned how to fall asleep in cars and buses, especially when we were still dating and he was living in Vancouver, and so it was long distance. Uh, he got very good at being able to fall asleep on buses, trains, planes, automobiles, the whole thing, just that motion and everything else that could be soothing about it. Whereas I can kind of doze, uh, but I have a hard time actually falling asleep unless I am prone. So
Mhm.
unless I can lay down. Are we doing the same thing with the hilts of both of these swords?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep, basically what we did to the one, do the other.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I mean, I can vouch for Luke being able to just clock out. I was
Yeah.
impressed. I was impressed. It's like, you two have fun chatting. I was like, what? And he was out.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
cool. How
Yeah,
do?
when we went to Extra Life a couple years ago together,
Yeah.
and we drove back, and yeah, V and I had a lovely chat for it was like a 2.5 hour
Yeah,
something
yeah.
after we got off the ferry. And yeah, Luke sat in the back seat and was just like, okay, have fun. And was
Yeah,
gone.
it's just like he almost finished saying that and then was quiet. I was like, how?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and my father both have that superpower of uh kind of being able to fall asleep anywhere. My dad definitely can fall asleep anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luke still has some requirements,
Right.
but definitely moving vehicles he can. I
Mm-hmm.
have witnessed my dad to take power naps in places that people should not be able to fall asleep. He that
Amazing.
he is a literal superhero in my eyes because of that power, because it's amazing.
That really is impressive.
Yeah, he's just been like, all right, and he has control over it too. It's not one of those like I was just kind of sitting in the chair and got comfy. He's just like, nope, I need to take a power nap, and this is where I am. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll wake up in 15 minutes. Bye, and he's gone. I'm like, how? Teach me your ways, Father.
Yeah,
Why
it's
didn't
like
I inherit this skill?
if I go on my couch on my bed, get a blanket, get a cat, I know I'll probably fall asleep within 10 minutes and sleep for a good 10 to 20 minutes
Yeah,
and be good. But
and
like other
that's also
places,
awesome.
yeah, I don't do well on airplanes.
That's very understandable for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I need to do tonight. I need to download things.
Oh, for the trip.
For the trip, yeah.
Yeah, because that is a significant amount of airtime.
Yeah, it's like 5.5, 6 hours. 6 hours, I
Did
want to say.
did you manage to get a direct flight?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Good,
Because
good,
where I
good.
am, it's one hub to another hub, so it works out well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely helpful.
Yeah, and it's like, um, I feel silly, but I was doing the difference between like, okay, how much is it to park my car at the airport, or how much to get a car to take me to the airport? It's actually cheaper to get a car because of how long I'm going to be gone. So I get to have someone pick me up and drive me to the airport, which quite frankly is nice
Yeah.
because then I'm not worried about driving in towards the city.
And or finding parking. Like that
Exactly.
is a lot of extra time
Yeah.
beyond the actual expense of it. Yeah, there's been a couple times in where um I'm just far enough away from the airport that it's not always economical to just take a
Mm.
car to
Mm-hmm.
order like an Uber or Lyft.
Right.
Um, and yeah, it kind of depends on the length of the trip for sure, but uh, it happens enough
Yeah.
that it's worth it. But yeah, as prices go up uh for ride shares, that becomes less and less economical.
Mm-hmm. That's just it. I mean, Uber's sometimes just like, wow. Like
Mm-hmm.
Uber's not really a thing in my area because I'm out in the boondocks, like way out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually cheaper for me to go through like a limo or a taxi service company.
Ah,
Yep, because they've been established in the area for long enough. They know how to, make it profitable but also affordable.
that makes
So,
sense.
yeah. So yeah, working with this one group. Okay, how are you doing?
I've got the circlet and on this one, and then I've got to go back and find the necklaces.
The
But
necklace. Okay.
otherwise, I'm pretty darn close.
All right, cool. Yeah, I need to get the hilt of this sword. I'm actually going to wait on my end. I'm going to wait on the circlets until after I do the hair because I know myself all too well.
Mm.
So I'll do the circlet after the hair is done.
Whereas I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the circlets
That's
now,
totally cool. Yeah.
if only because uh, I'm already in the zone of avoiding
Mm-hmm.
the skin as much as
Oh yeah.
possible. So,
Totally makes sense.
oof.
Yeah, Bellswin lives in an area without Uber or Lyft. Too rural. We have a stock market. We do. People bring their vegetables. They trade, they barter, they sell to the public. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And there's livestock there too.
Because
Yep.
sometimes you got to buy a cow.
Literally, there are cows, there are goats, there are chickens. There's geese every so often. Not Canada geese, like farm geese. Um,
I mean, still serious
yeah.
geese.
Yes, actual geese. Not infernal. Not infernal. Um, there was a goat that was at large for like a year. Yes.
Okay. Lost goat. Sure. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, the goat got out of the pens at this stock market. And it's actually near my house, and there's this like wooded area that it ran into, and a herd of deer adopted it. So it was seen grazing with these deer at various times, and they finally caught it when it was breaking other animals out of the same pen it escaped from.
Oh my God. I love this goat. This goat needs a movie.
This goat is an NPC. Like, I am waiting for the day. Like, well, everyone's talking about like Baldur's Gate talking to animals. Like, someone please speak with animals, this goat, and get this goat saga.
Uh-huh. That's awesome.
Please.
I love that so much.
Yeah. I'm actually plotting something for a charity game I have coming up at the end of September. So
Ooh.
the goat will be involved.
Sorry, I'm trying
I'm doing the same
desperately.
thing.
So I found the necklace you were talking about on the one, but the
Mm-hmm.
other one, I'm just failing
The other one, it's like
miserably
a
at seeing
half
it.
necklace, is the thing. It's like it's caught up underneath the pauldron and the straps.
Mm,
So it's popping out here. If you're looking at the one sword guy, it's right
okay.
there. See that?
Okay. I see that, but on my sculpt, there's
Is
not.
it not really there?
Honestly, it just looks like when you turn your head and the veins
Then
in your neck, not the veins,
the tendons?
yeah, right here, like they've got
Then
they're
leave it
they're
be.
definitely straining that way.
Yeah, then absolutely leave it be.
Yeah.
Totally works.
That might just be my sculpt.
It could be.
It's
Sometimes with these smaller sculpts, some of the details get a little wobbly, for lack of a better
yeah.
term. Yeah, Rough Rider. I'm sure it wasn't a druid. Had a name and everything. And like people would report sightings. That's the funny thing. And I think the town was all for letting the goat be free because people would be like, "Hey, I saw so and so running around on this street." But they'd wait a couple hours so the cops couldn't catch him.
There you go. Well, why didn't you report this as soon as you saw the goat? It was dinner
It
time
was
and
just didn't think of it. Got away so fast. I
yeah,
didn't think it would matter.
I didn't
Yeah.
have access to my phone at the moment.
Yeah, it was really quite funny when the town's just like, "Aw, they caught him."
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Did I get it all? I did. That was a glare. All right,
Yes.
cool.
Speak with Animals has become one of those things in Baldur's Gate 3 that I think no
People are
matter the kind
loving.
of playthrough that you are doing, everyone has been like, someone needs Speak with Animals. And I would argue in any D&D game you're playing, just make sure you warn your DM ahead of time because some of us
Yes.
didn't quite do that and we're bad. And then suddenly we're asking all of the animals questions.
Right? All right, I'm jumping over to gunmetal now.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is put gunmetal on the inside portions of the armor so that that gold looks more like edging.
Awesome.
But with the size of the armor on these minis, it's easier to kind of treat it like this. So you get more of that type of a look now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, if you
Mr. Sword's in the way. I forgot to get around that one. Shoot. I have to go back to gold. I forgot there was a Bit of armor on the knee, underneath the sword on this guy. We'll fix that
Oh
mod.
yeah. Yep, there's armor hiding everywhere with these folks.
Yeah. It's cool looking armor too, so I don't want to forget
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, so if anyone ever needs uh proof that Deborah Ann Wall is an amazing DM, not that
Wait, people
uh
need proof for that?
right? Not that
What?
you need it because there's plenty out there, but if you need a specific thing to point to, Children of Erte, I don't remember the specific episode number, but early on in the series when we were entering a mine and my druid baby was still learning that she was even a druid or what was going on. And yeah, I had talked about some of the spells that I was taking.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, there were rats that we could see, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try to talk to them because Neb is a gregarious, wants to talk to everybody. And so yeah, Deb essentially created an entire rat colony of NPCs
Amazing.
because of me wanting to speak with anything and everyone that came by. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to apologize to her afterwards. I'm like, I don't know if I really warned you I was going to take this spell. Like, I think I might have just mentioned it offhand, but I should have probably been more clear about the fact that Neb's gonna be using this a lot. Uh and she rolled with it. And those rats are
I
so
love it.
amazing.
I love it.
Nicodemus.
That's so much fun.
And
It's fun as the DM being able to spin things in different directions. Like when I'm running
absolutely.
when I'm running this game in Koshmar, and one of the players like, I speak with plants. It's like, you really want to speak with plants in a dread domain that's a druid's? You really want to go? She quickly realized that her character suddenly had a quick pass to speaking directly with the Dreadlord.
Yeah. Which, in the
Yeah,
right circumstances is not
exactly.
a
Yeah,
bad thing.
not a bad thing. Nope, nope. But they were trying to like sort of be more undercover, and it was kind of like Nika's like, "Oh, hello."
Hmm. Yeah. Neb also took Speak with Plants.
Mm,
And that one I warned everybody, including Deb, about well in advance. I'm like, okay, this is I may only ever use this once in a blue moon, but
right.
I can't imagine Neb not wanting to talk to everything everywhere all at once
Mm-hmm.
to to use that
Oh yeah,
terminology. And the
makes sense
joy,
to me.
oh yeah. And the joy of Children of Erte, because we're all playing humans from the real world who are like discovering what we are and who we are and what we can
Mm-hmm.
do, is I can Neb has no idea how any of these spells work. And on a regular basis, she does things that are instinctual,
Right.
not knowing exactly how anything works or even how she did it. So uh I'm able to do things like that. Like, all right, I'm gonna take this spell because at some point she's just gonna really feel like, oh, if only I could talk to these trees over here. And just instinctually would cast it. So it's a
Right.
lot of fun because otherwise, especially as a character that has to pick their spells every morning, it can be
Mm-hmm.
real hard to like, okay, what do I think is going to be useful what today? What does my character always have prepared just because of who they are?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with Neb, a lot of the time it's just uh well, what would she do? Because she hasn't figured everything out yet.
I think that's sweet.
Rough Rider says, speak with rocks. Listen, if there was speak with land, she would take it. If she could speak with the, she just wants to talk with everybody. Uh, that's just how she is. And it hasn't worn off yet. I don't think it ever will with her. I think Neb will forever be incredibly just enthralled
Mm-hmm.
whenever she gets a chance to talk with any plant, animal, creature, anything. And so it wouldn't surprise me at one point if she's just like, I'm gonna try to talk to a rock.
Neb's got Doolittle vibes in that respect.
A little bit, yeah.
You know,
A little
like
bit.
just being open and willing to just chat.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I remember that being the coolest thing about Dr. Doolittle. He was just like, of course I can talk with this animal. Why wouldn't I talk with this animal?
Yep.
Like, that's freaking cool, dude.
Absolutely. And then it gets into a lot of fun discussions of things like, why would an animal lie?
Mmm.
Like,
Right.
I think it is perfectly normal to, uh, I mean, suspicion is the wrong word, but my party members are being much more rational about these are animals and we can't necessarily uh, believe everything that they're saying, not necessarily because they're lying, but because,
Right.
this is an owl. This is a
Right.
rat. How smart really is a rat? Um, but Neb has that idea of like, well, why would an animal lie to me? Of course they
Yeah.
wouldn't lie to me. They're an animal. So yeah, it's kind of fun playing with those expectations too.
That's honestly super endearing about Neb, though.
I think so, and it's mostly endearing until it bites us in the ass because
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
the creature that she's trying to talk to suddenly decides that it doesn't want to talk. It wants to have her for lunch. And
Hmm.
then that's where the fact that she has a 9 AC and is fairly squishy is a problem.
Yeah.
It's,
If
it's just a
not
problem.
friend, why friend shape?
Uh-huh. If not friend, why food shaped?
Yep. Yep. All right, so you can see how this is starting to take the form
Yeah.
there, which is kind of a fun thing. Oh, I do speak to my cats all day.
I also like Lexington. Speak with Rock, but the Rock speaks like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I mean,
Oh, I'm here for it.
absolutely.
Here for that. That sounds
Yep.
amazing.
The belt around these Githyanki is
Mm-hmm.
cloth, right?
I kind of treat it as metal, so I painted it gold and then I just ran a line of the gunmetal.
Okay.
Kind of treat it like a wrestler's belt style.
Okay. I did that with the front,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure about the rest
Yeah,
of
I
it.
took it
But
all the way around. It's whatever you want to do, quite frankly. There's no, this is right, this is wrong. Except for
that
when you
makes
have it
sense.
jump out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when it goes on a little walk. That I'm treating as leather. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Concentrating.
Why are we Mario Brothers? What's going on?
Because I do that when I'm concentrating.
Okay.
Like it's tricky and it needs concentration.
Yeah, we're definitely in the fiddly bits of these
Oh,
minis.
very, very fiddly.
But I am really liking how the gold edging is coming out.
Yeah. Gives them a little pop of interest.
Oof.
Because I was looking at a bunch of different Githyanki reference art. And, definitely Lae'zel is a strong leader in a lot of the colors I'm picking out. But when I came across this one that had the gold edging around the arm, I'm like, oh, that's a nice look. Let's incorporate that little note.
Yeah. Well, and I am a fan of this specific paint, the gunmetal.
Mm-hmm.
It
It's a
just
good color.
it just looks so cool on, especially on
You get the
on
Twitter frame.
metal things, but like
Right. It's
I am
so
just a fan
metal.
of it.
Me too. Sorry, folks. I actually need to lean into the light. There's a spot I need to see.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. In fact, I'm gonna take a stretch.
Stretches are very much good to do.
Yeah, especially since we're at the top. Oh, we're just past the top of the
Oh,
hour. So
wow.
if you come in fresh from the game, hello.
Hello.
We're finishing up our Githyanki minis today. Um in honor of Lae'zel, who you have a couple more days to unlock in the game. So welcome on in if you have any questions. We've been answering questions about Idle Champions, about Lae'zel, about painting minis. We're also kind of just talking about D&D in general.
Mm-hmm.
V and I are going to PAX West, so we were talking a bit about that. So lots of bits of conversation as I desperately try to get this spot under the sword without
Right.
without there being problems. There we go.
Good news is the gunmetal is also going on the swords. Or the scimitars,
Ah,
I should say.
that was going to be a question of mine, and so thank you.
You
That
are
answers
welcome.
that question.
Yep, I'm getting there right now. Still
I also
slightly
like the
tricky.
detail on these swords.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous swirly stuff. Filigree, that's the word I want. It's gorgeous
Yeah,
swirly stuff. Filigree, also known as filigree. It's so swirly.
it's all the swirlies. I think Lae'zel would be very upset if we said, oh, your sword has such nice swirlies.
Right? Look at
Although
the
Lae'zel
pretty
is upset a lot of the time
swirlies.
anyway, so.
She's a little cranky. She has a
eh.
little bit of anger management, maybe. I don't know. I haven't
I
played the
mean,
game enough to really delve into her story, but some of it might be justified. Just guessing.
some of it is absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it is a spoiler because it's kind of the core of the start of the game. But like,
Mm.
when you hate mind flayers and you're in danger of becoming one, that's a
Yeah.
very reasonable reason to have agita.
Yes, absolutely.
Ah, no, not on the gold.
Sounds like you're yelling at an animal. Not on the blah blah blah. I told you.
To the water quickly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. Making some progress. Making some progress.
Oof. Saved it.
Yep. Yeah. If for some reason we don't get these completely done this week, I think we'll be okay to kind of take this into beginning of the next episode,
Oh yeah.
and we'll still be okay.
I am always going to advocate for going slowly and adding on another episode because
Yeah.
you know what? It's fun to take your time. Um and especially stuff like this that is so small and detailed. Going
Mm-hmm.
slow is definitely helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see in about 30 minutes where we are and kind of come to
Mm-hmm.
some decisions. But yes, for those that just came on in, as a reminder, there will not be a paint and slay next week because V and I are going to be at PAX West, and so there's going to be nobody available to stream as we will be busy.
Yes.
But then we'll come back the next week and in September, and we'll have plenty of fun stories
Oh
to
yeah.
tell. I
I
think,
am just so glad I was able to defer my jury duty.
yeah,
I was like,
absolutely.
this is really not a good time. I want to do my public duty service, whatever you want to call it. But yo, people, this is not the week to call me in.
Mm-hmm. That
I
is
literally I
fully
sat there
fair.
and I typed out everything I had going on that week. I have never seen a deferral come through so fast. 10 minutes later, like, yeah, you're deferred. Thank you. You must be a mom too.
Yep.
Oh, it was a riot. It was an absolute riot.
Well, I'm glad that it wasn't a hassle to get it deferred
Yeah,
because
me too. Well, because I had to defer it once already because I was in the UK. Like, I'm
mm-hmm.
not gonna be in the country. I'm contractually obligated to be out of the country at this time you have called me.
Yeah. Well, and as much as it can be a hassle, and every state is different. I have found
Right.
that getting deferments
Mm-hmm.
is not a huge deal, at least a couple of times. But yeah, once it
Right.
starts, it's one of those
Yeah.
where like I've had to do that. I'm like, all right, I'm deferring this now. And at least in Washington, when you defer it online, they
Mm-hmm.
ask, okay, in the next year,
Right.
how far would you like to defer it to so that you
Right.
could conceivably pick a date and where you can say you can actually be there for?
Mm-hmm.
So that is super helpful.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I want to do my civic duty, but I also want to uh, pay my rent.
Right.
I also want to get my job done.
Well, and
All
that's
right.
just it. They're like, how about January? I'm like, January, early January? Yes, let's go early January. I can breathe.
Mm. Oh, Mess Duval. They're asking jury duty something only in the USA, right? I think it's also in Canada, but um, I am that's
I'm
a
honestly not sure.
very educated guess. But yes, at least as far as if people are wondering, so it is a thing in the United States and where you just get called up to be part of the
Mm-hmm.
justice system and be on a jury. A lot of the time when it's your turn to be called, you can show up and basically sit around and not get picked, and
Yeah.
then you've fulfilled your obligations. But then sometimes you're picked to actually be on a jury for a day, 2 days, whatever they are looking for people for. And when you get called for jury duty, you get a little notice, and they give you
Yeah.
uh they try to give you a fair bit of notice before it's actually going to happen, and you can defer it for a bunch of different reasons. And but you can only defer it so many times.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit of a strategic game to play of like, okay, when could I go that will disrupt my life the least? And I'm talking about
Exactly.
this as someone who works full time, but does not have children or other obligations. And where if I'm, it's basically just, oh, am I going to lose out on
Mm-hmm.
not working? Whereas there are people, like V, who have other family obligations, who have other things going on. So being able to control when it happens is kind of vital.
Yeah. It was definitely helpful that they're like, yeah, sure, we can work with you. I'm like, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been a little while uh since I had jury duty. And the last time when I got called, yeah, I basically sat in a big room with a bunch of people
Mm.
all day. I had my laptop with me and just took care of work. I filled out a questionnaire
Mm-hmm.
that um was obviously related to the thing they were trying to get people on the jury for, because it was very
Gotcha.
specific questions about things like um you know what? I know absolutely nothing about the case. So I don't think I'm saying anything that I shouldn't say. But there were questions about like, have you ever had encounters with drunk drivers?
Mm.
So there were things like that. And then at the end of the day, they said, nope, you weren't picked. Thank you. You're dismissed. And I went home.
Thank you. Bye bye. Yeah. They have you call in the night before to find out if you need to report for where I am. So we shall see what
Same for
happens
me. Yeah.
in January.
And now back to questions that have nothing to do with jury duty.
Right?
Rough Rider 1995 wants to know what will be painted after the Githyanki, which is an excellent question.
Well, that is an excellent question. As soon as I finish getting this particular scimitar, I'm more than happy to show you what we will be painting.
Yeah.
No problem at all. I just literally loaded my brush and popped this on here. So one moment, please.
Oh, sure. And
Your
I
question is
will.
very important to us. Your mini painter is currently occupied.
Please wait on the line for the next available mini painter.
Right?
And yes, once I will make sure to be better about getting the information about our next mini up on the discord.gg/idle champions, where you can find out lots of great information about idle champions and the minis that we're painting.
Yes. All right. So there they are. I'm like, did they walk away?
Which is
So
possible.
after we finish the Githyanki, I thought it'd be fun to jump into the Drow fighters, that I think are from the same wave. These are from Wave 18 from WizKids D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. So we'll be painting these two up in the month of September. It's probably going to be a 2-episode pair, would be my guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll take it from there. Laura and I are actually going to be chatting about what we want to do for the fall for Paint and Slay. So stay tuned for more information on what's going to be coming after the drow. But yeah, that's the next step in line for what we want to do.
Yeah.
How did I do that? Somehow I got gunmetal right across his hand.
Oh. And I will say, I'll preface this by saying we can't always do suggestions because of just the practicalities of sometimes what minis we can get hold of and what makes sense for the show. But if you do have a suggestion or a request, absolutely put it in chat and let us know. It's always good to know if there are either specific minis that you would love to watch to see how they're painted, or just in general, if there's like, hey, do more dragons. Like I said, we can't promise anything, but it is always good to know what y'all are interested in seeing.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes they line up and where someone will be like, hey, can you do this? It's like, you know what? We can.
Yeah, like I can say, there were those requests to get something that's more fur based. So there is a mini that has a lot of fur that we will be painting in the fall. Not going to say what it is yet, but that was taken into account.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
There will be fur.
There will be fur. Which now sounds like a threat when you say it that way. There will be fur.
Well, it depends on who you say it to. When you say that to Orkira, she does take it as a threat. There
will be fur.
It has absolutely no interest in fur.
She's definitely all for the deferment. But zing! I did it.
I can't be mad because it was real good.
Yeah.
I can't.
That was taking over the Monday or the morning jokes.
I mean, that's actually a good joke, but
Okay. Here's one that I came across that I thought was absolutely hysterical.
Ooh, okay.
Star Wars fans, heads up, this one's for you. What did Yoda say when he saw himself on a 4K TV?
I don't know. What did Yoda say when he saw himself on a 4K TV?
HDMI. Yeah, I love the simplicity of it. I'm like, that's perfection.
That's good. That's very good.
Uh-huh.
I would slow clap that, but I'm in the middle of trying to.
No, I totally understand.
Paint the piece of armor dangling between this Githyanki's legs. And I'm having an awkward moment.
Totally fair. It's also like the hey, did you know there is actually a medical term for when you wake up in the middle of the night and you start having snacks?
And you start having snacks?
You start eating snacks in the middle of the night.
It's not the munchies?
No, it's called insomnomnomnomnomnomnia.
Ba-doom boom. Welcome to Friday, everybody.
No apologies.
Nope, don't apologize. This is what we're here for. We're all here for it. I'm gonna give our chat a tiny bit of context. Although some of you have already kind of guessed, we have a lovely person who works at the company that during our morning stand-ups always tells a joke. And they started off as, hey, I got a dad joke for you. And they've continued as, hey, I've got more dad jokes for you. And so, you know what? When you've decided that you're going to tell a joke every single day, not all of them are going to land. So sometimes there's a bit of a groaner in there.
Yeah.
I think it actually started because he got a joke a day calendar.
He did.
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
That's what it was.
He's like, might as well share with the class.
Right. Some of them just stick with me because of like, it's the delivery ones that get me, like the Yoda one, the HDMI, and the nom 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 nomnia. Like that one stuck with me because of the cadence of it.
Oh, and
there's a little boy on Instagram, his mom, he said, hey mom, why are chickens so funny? And you hear the mom go, why? And he goes, because, and he just walks off frame. And I'm like, oh my God, that's adorable. So those are the kind of jokes I gravitate towards. And they're just so darn cute.
Yeah.
Okay. How
And
are you?
I
Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say delivery is
A
incredibly
lot.
important
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is half of a joke, honestly.
Yeah. How are you doing with the gunmetal?
I'm done with dual sword, dude.
Okay.
I still have pauldron and sword on single sword, dude. So
Okay.
I'm
Cool. So you're getting
close.
there. Yes,
I'm
because we'll
close.
move on to the dry brushing with silver on all of this then, and keep moving ahead once you're ready. Um. So
Yep,
yeah,
I'll be there shortly. I'm having
it's totally
that
cool.
as much as I love the gunmetal, it does that thing where it can look like I'm missing a spot when in
Oh, and it glares
reality
back.
it's just
Yeah.
glaring. Yeah, so
Yep.
it's been a little more challenging to be like, is that a spot I missed or is that just glare?
Yeah. I'm gonna open up the drawer while we're. I want to get a closer look at them.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. So yeah, of course it's a double pack. They come with the clear bases. I'm actually gonna chuck that part. I don't need that. But yeah, here are the two drow. Two drow, none the richer.
I do
Um,
appreciate how we're doing these two Githyanki who are in very active poses and
and
then the
these
next
are
thing we're
like
gonna do are these drow who are very much like
stoic,
I'm posing
right?
for a painting.
Yep, exactly. So we have the one. Looks like they have a braid down the back. Is that a braid down the back? That might be a braid down the back. Yeah, I think that's a
Hmm.
braid. It's just where the head was attached. There's a little bit of a line. So a little bit more femme. And we have the one with the more cropped haircut.
Yeah, I got to remember when we do the hair on these Githyanki that both of them also have braids
Yeah.
down the front because
And beards.
and beards. Because when we were
And
first
beards.
doing the skin, I totally painted the at least two of the
That's okay.
braids the
That's okay.
skin color. Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back. It's all good. Do, do,
All right.
do.
I think I'm. Oh, yep. Not. I'm there. I
Yep,
think I'm
nope,
there.
yep, nope, yep.
Oh no, I got the bracers. I
Oh,
almost missed on the arms.
don't miss the arms. You don't want to miss arm day.
Almost missed arm day.
I mean, leg day is one thing, but arm day, you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
We need B Dave to jump on and be and
Right. Oh,
educate us
God.
on
He would.
the Iron Temple.
He absolutely would.
Yeah, joyfully he would be like, "Great,
Oh,
you want to
oh,
know more?
completely. Yeah.
I got this information."
Supplements, etc. Totally.
Okay, and then you.
This was like Jacques.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, they really are far more dynamic than the drow.
I like the dichotomy though. I think it's amazing.
It really is.
It gives both sets such distinct character.
Yes. These guys are fun.
Okay. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm there because at this point I've found three spots that I'm like, oh, that's a
And yeah.
place that I need to paint, and then it has not been a place to paint, it's been a
And it's
glare.
proven no, you're not. Okay.
So
So then what you'll do is take silver and everywhere you put gunmetal, you want to go in and lightly dry brush it
okay.
to highlight all of those gorgeous swirly details.
Yeah. Where'd you get silver? There you are. All right. You're the one I was just doing, so
Yeah. Yeah, put the one you were just doing down and go to the other guy.
mm-hmm.
But this is just a really cool way to make all of these details really pop out.
We did get a couple of suggestions from minis. I like how everybody
Okay.
immediately gravitated towards Halloween too. That's super
Mm-hmm.
fun. Let's see. Yeah, so Seeker 30K, something spooky for October, I hope.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. Rough Rider 1995 says a centaur would be cool. Centaurs are cool.
They are cool, yep.
Secret 30K also mentions a lich and a mummy. There's a lich and a mummy lord pack that would be great for October. Both a lich and a mummy lord in one pack?
Oh my.
That's a lot of undeath.
Yes, it is.
But I could totally see why those would be perfect. Ew, silver. Ew.
That didn't sound good.
No, it was all like I opened it up and the top was all just covered.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
That is frustrating. But yeah, by going through now, this is kind of bringing out those filigree details. There we go. You can see on the pauldron there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it really makes it all pop a little bit better. And it's a very light touch, especially when you're doing a metal, dry brushing a metal. Like I'm barely putting my brush to the mini. And it does all the work for you.
Yeah, especially since both gunmetal and silver shine so much.
Yep.
It's definitely one of those where I'll do a pass and they'll be like, I don't know if I did enough. And then I'll turn it just a hair more and suddenly in the light, it's like, oh no, I've done plenty.
This is a light touch approach. You don't need to do much to get a big result for this. I'm already done with the one, I think. Did I get this? No, I did not get that one. There we go.
Something spooky with pumpkins and or skeletons, says Caliph Marin. So we've done skeletons and zombies, but was there a pumpkin involved with? Why am I remembering there's a pumpkin involved with something? I must be misremembering.
I think I showed a pumpkin thing that I painted, maybe? Maybe there was a pumpkin? Do something with a pumpkin. All right, so
I think it might have been a thing you showed off. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so this is the difference between, you can see dry brushed with the silver, not dry brushed. So it's just a really great way to pop out the last little bits of those details.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there are third parties that have made some really cool looking Headless Horseman style.
Interesting.
Yeah. Inspired miniatures. Let me finish that thought. I just don't think we have anything from WizKids that has a similar vein. Because again, we're looking at official D&D creatures and whatnot.
Yeah. But we'll look into it.
Yeah.
We've got just enough time. Now is a good time to be thinking about Halloween. It is.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. That's all you get, and I will stop now.
As much as I love Halloween and I love Halloween candy, I was slightly annoyed to see the Halloween candy appear in the grocery store in the middle of July.
Yep.
That was a bit much, but now, like end of August, early September, this is good.
Yeah, agreed. Now we're in pumpkin spice weather.
Well, Seattle isn't quite in pumpkin spice weather yet, but we're gonna go ahead and have lattes anyway.
There you go. Funny thing is I can't have pumpkin spice stuff.
Oh, because of the stuff that's in them.
Syrup. Yep. There's
that makes sense.
Syrup.
I try to only have pumpkin spice latte every now and then because yes, they are delicious, and I'll just admit it because it's obvious. I'm a basic white woman. I like a pumpkin spice latte, but I also know that those things are basically desserts,
right?
And they're desserts for multiple people. So I try to when I give into one of those, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have like half of this now and half of this later because it's a lot of sugar.
There is. I'm more of like a cider fan, to be honest.
Ciders are good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warm,
like apple
freshly
cider
warmed cider.
Donuts, apple cider coffee cake.
Oh,
Mulled
yeah.
apple cider. Yes, please.
Mm,
Oh.
Pumpkin martini.
Ooh, I have a curious.
Uh, well, that's all that Rough Rider says. Pumpkin
Pumpkin
martini,
martini.
which I am intrigued.
Sames.
I would like to sign up for this newsletter, please.
How does one become involved?
Oh yeah, Caliph Marin says I like pumpkin spice cheesecake. Does that count? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is a variety of pumpkin spice for everyone.
You just said the magic word, pumpkin spice.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's a
And you
cider mill near me, Lost a Will, that also does amazing apple cider
oh,
donuts.
oh yeah, fresh apple cider is so good.
Oh, like I have gotten there a couple times in the past where you can tell they were just packaged from the oven because you pick up the box and he's warm and it
Yes.
smells like heaven. Oh, I can't wait until they're like fully made. They aren't making them quite yet. That tends to happen towards the end of September with them. But yeah. Okay. So I'm really pleased with how the dry brushing has popped all this fantastic filigree.
Absolutely. I'm almost done myself. I'm just
Sweet.
working on this pauldron.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is take while you're working on that pauldron, I'm gonna take out some bloody red and try something. And also let a cat in. One moment.
Let in the cat.
Come on, princess. My goodness. Please let's not tear up the carpet. Okay.
Caliph Marin says, I remember going to an orchard as a kid and getting fresh apple cider. Yeah, that was a thing that I remember in elementary school, whether it was just a thing we did as part of school as a field trip or something, but there was consistently every year we would go to a orchard that specifically did apple cider. And so you'd go and you'd pick apples, but it'd be like, you're an elementary school kid, so you'd pick like 3.
Right.
And then they'd show you the whole process, and then you get apple cider, and then what they had, which was amazing, but also terrifying for the parents, I'm sure, who had to wrangle all those kids. They didn't just have apple cider, but they made these hard candies with the apple cider with like the it's so good.
I mean, that sounds amazing, but yes, as a parent, choking hazard.
And just, suddenly an entire classroom full of kids having lots of sugar between the cider and the candies, because we didn't wait. This wasn't we'll have this when we get home. Nope.
No,
Popping that.
No, of course not.
Right in my mouth.
All right,
but
so
yeah,
I actually mixed
remember that.
bloody red and silver together, and I'm really liking the color that it created.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. So if you have any silver left,
yes,
take that and mix it with some bloody red.
Okay.
More bloody red than silver, though. I will say that.
That's good, because I actually don't have too much silver left. But that'll be perfect. Don't have my mixing brush.
My goodness, she purring. Can you
frozen apple cider is pretty interesting too, says Kayla. I don't know if I've ever had that. That's intriguing.
Okay.
I need to make a list of like, okay, pumpkin spice martinis, frozen apple cider.
Right. Once you have that mixed, there are all these little stones that we're gonna dab with the red mixture.
Okay.
Just to get the really cool like ruby details. Or garnet, depending. See?
Okay. Can do. Lexinum asks, do the minis have a list of colors you can use, or everyone is left alone to their own talent? Well, the WizKids all come with a image of the completed mini, I guess you could say, on the back. So you can always use that as a guide, but as far as I know, they don't have like specific instructions for paints.
Yeah, so you could use this as sort of a guide. But no, they don't come with a step-by-step unless you're getting one of their paint kits. And in that case, you scan the QR code, and that does have instructions for you.
Yeah, the paint night kits are lots of fun.
Yeah, they are. Okay, I think I got those. Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Oh, that's besides the front belt area, where else
That's a very good
are you?
question. So there are little ones on the braciers at the top, and then at the greaves,
Oh yeah.
there's little ones there. The thigh plates, nope, there's nothing there. And then the pauldrons have a couple of smaller spots as well. That I'm just highlighting.
Time to get super close to the light to see if I
Yep.
can spot the dot.
So yeah, the pauldron has a pairing on either side. So there's two wee bits right there,
Awesome.
and then there's another two on the back.
Awesome. Found them.
Yep.
To the other one. Also, I will say we only have about 9 minutes left
So we
before
will carry over.
So we will. Cool.
Yeah.
So any last questions that anybody has, make sure you get those in chat. We've got we've got Gabe grabbing questions in the chat so we don't miss them. Because yes, today this ends our broadcast day. Took me a second. And then Garwar will be on tomorrow.
Ooh.
Chatting about more awesome Idle Champions fun, but yeah, we're almost done for the day. And as a reminder, we will be out next week because V and I are going to be enjoying some time at PAX West.
I'm looking forward to seeing my friends.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you in person and not just
in person, exactly.
in a screen. My fresh box of masks just came in, and so
Nice.
I'm as ready as I think I can be.
Yep, same. I packed up my fabric and disposable masks just to have them all at the, because I double layer conventions. I put the KN95 on, and then I put my fabric over them.
Poke, 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 poke.
Right? Okay, I think. Oh, and then for this guy, I'm going to give him a little red jewel on his necklace.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about the necklace. That's a good idea.
Doop. So there we go. Bump, 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 bump.
Aha. All right, I'm putting it down. Oof.
You good?
That was eyeballs.
That
really
was eyeballs. Yep, that was focus. Okay.
Caliph Marin wants to know. Oh, I'll let you do your and then before I ask this question.
I was going to say, we're just going to jump back to leather brown and get the leather belt straps going. Of course, now I'm playing with leather brown. There it is.
Where did I put my leather brown? There it is.
It also gives us a good color that has not been mixed, so if we have to stop, we're good. Well, we are going to stop. I'm just saying.
If we're not done with the straps by the time we have to stop. I gotcha.
Yes.
So Caliph Marin wanted to know favorite fall food, drink, thing to do, whatever, and what makes Halloween the best for you. I'm curious. I honestly, it's just the candy. I really, I enjoy the fall in general because it is my favorite. That's kind of the temperature and weather that I enjoy the most, is that cool, crisp weather. Although in Seattle, it does tend to rain a lot more once you get into fall and winter, but that's fine. but for me, it really is just I really enjoy the candy.
That's
And
fair.
I've talked about this a bunch before, but I am a fan of things like candy corn and some of the candies that people are not
Mm-hmm.
generally a fan of. And so, and also just of candy that you can't get outside of this time of year. So that's me. I also enjoy watching other people dress up, especially those who are super into like cosplay and costumes. Like that's
Yeah.
just fascinating to watch, and I love seeing their creativity and their hard work and talent. Uh, but that is that is for other people to do and for me to enjoy, as that is their talents.
Mhm.
How about you, V?
I definitely enjoy the whole Halloween, Beltane time of year. Um, I'm all about the fact that it's like you can have warm drinks anytime. And people are like, how can you have something warm to drink? Because in the summertime, I'm always drinking warm drinks, and people are like, aren't you going to overheat? It's hot out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, oh, I can do the warm drinks, and I can do like the big comforting warm drinks of like, the coffees with the cinnamon in it and things like that. So I'm always a fan of that. And then I love to make sweet potato soup, which is like sweet potatoes and chicken broth and maple syrup and bacon, all kind of, and onions and other things. But it's just such a nice, hearty, comforting soup. But it really doesn't make sense until the fall.
Mm.
So that's like one of the foods I look forward to having in the fall. And
Yeah, the
I'm
fall
a
is
fan of Thanksgiving and Halloween in general.
yeah, the fall is definitely the best time, and the winter, because then you get the I can drink my hot tea again,
Yeah,
because it's a bit too warm right now for hot tea. At least for me. Some
yeah.
people uh
I
are
run
fine
so
drinking the
cold. I'm
hot
like,
drinks, but
give,
I
give me,
can't.
give me the hot.
Oh, and Caleb Marin says hot chocolate with cinnamon. Ooh.
Yep, that's also a very nice little blend combination. All right,
And
I
yes, I
think
saw the Lost Towel was asking about candy corn just as I was talking about my
I
love for
love
candy
candy
corn.
corn. My favorite are the pumpkin candy corns, like the candy corn
The
that's in the
mellow
shape of a pumpkin.
corns.
Yo,
Oh yeah.
num num num
Yeah.
num 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 num.
The mellow pumpkins are so good.
Yeah, that's a happy place for me. Okay, so we're getting to a little bit before 3 minutes before we wrap up. So I'm thinking I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop here if that works for you,
Yep.
and we'll
I'm
pick
trying to
back
get
up.
this
Yeah,
one strap done before I walk
that's just
away.
I'd like just finished a strap. I don't want to start another one. So this gives us a good stopping point. We'll obviously keep going with the Githyanki and finishing them up, and then we'll jump into doing the draw work. Is the plan for the next episode, which isn't happening next week, but the week after. First episode for September. Look at it that way.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but we've made some really good progress with them. Basically, we have the base left, the straps left, and the hair left. And maybe the eyes. We'll see. I don't know. These are kind of small. I might let the wash do the work on that for the facial features. But that's
That makes
basically the
sense.
plan for the Gith Yankee here. And then don't
Whew.
forget
But I
this
suspect the
weekend.
hair are probably going to be
It's pretty straightforward.
well straightforward, but also a little bit of a
Yeah.
fun challenge just with
Yeah,
the
because
the
of the
braids.
trailing braids, exactly. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't want to rush it. So don't forget, it is the weekend, wee, which means it is time for Slay the Darkness weekend. And if you've signed up for our newsletter, that means you're getting the free Gold Slayers reward chest. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, that means you log into the game, you opt in, and we will send you once a week a free chest to go along with the weekend buff. I highly recommend it. Once in a blue moon, we will send you an extra newsletter just to kind of give you a heads up of something important that's happening. But the rule of thumb is we keep it to one a week and it has free stuff, is really what
Yeah.
it boils down to. So don't forget about that this weekend. Also, along with this weekend, don't forget, if you've been enjoying our Githyanki paint, you can also enjoy having a Githyanki in your formation with Lae'zel, our
Yeah.
first Baldur's Gate 3 champion who has joined the roster. You have until Monday, 12 p.m. Pacific, to unlock and add to your formation. So take advantage of that this weekend while you're doing the weekend buff. Highly recommend that one. And then don't forget, while Lae'zel is going on, we did just announce recently today that next Wednesday we have the next season starting, which is season 5, Acquisitions Incorporated. And you can see we have Omen and Jim right here for you, along with some other fantastic champions. Do keep an eye out for the content creators for, Strix, Evelyn, and Vi. Just saying, they might have something fun to share with you as well as these two. Keep an eye out on their socials over the weekend, and you'll see why. You'll see why. I'm just leaving it at that, but you'll see why. And then what else? I think that's everything, right?
I think so. I'm going to answer a couple really quick questions or things that came up in chat. One,
absolutely.
Who was it that put? Yes, Seeker 30K mentioned that if you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, not only should you sign up, but because you get a fun chest every week, but you get Hitch, who is an awesome champion. So you actually, when you sign up, you get Hitch as well. So thank you for that reminder. The Lost Towel asks, has the newsletter gone out yet? I signed up but haven't received anything. It's starting to go out. It can take several hours to get to everybody because they it's one of those things where they can't do everybody at once. It has to go out in batches, and it's in the order that people signed up in. So give it a couple hours. If you don't see it by like dinner time, check your spam messages just in case it ended up there. And if you still don't see it, definitely send us a support ticket to let us know, because then we can dig into it and find out what went wrong. And finally, I put in the chat the links for the YouTube and the TikTok. We put out a little short video as, basic information about season 5 so that you can check out the champions and a little bit on season 5. And remember to get your season 4 stuff done before Wednesday, because when season 4 ends, season 5 begins right away. So we're going to just roll right into it.
Yep. We're keeping you hopping.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that's everything.
Yes, for now.
For now. So we will not see you next week, because we will be out having fun in Seattle at PAX. And then in 2 weeks, we will come back and finish our Githyanki friends.
I'm so excited. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Until then, bye-bye.